Okay, I don't know how to do this, so we're just going to do this. I have breast cancer. I know. It's very shocking. It's very surreal. It doesn't sound real, but it's real. I found out about a month ago. And I've had a decent amount of time to process and start the process, and so I'm finally ready to share with you. I'm going to try and get through this as simply and straightforward as possible. I'm probably going to get covered in hives because I'm very nervous, and if I look like I'm smiling over something very serious, it's also probably because I'm very nervous. It's called triple positive breast cancer, and from every doctor or medical professional or person that has any knowledge about cancer, they have said it is super treatable, it is highly beatable. We are going for cure, not remission here, which is exciting, encouraging, helpful, good. And at this point, they think it's stage 2A, but we're not entirely sure just yet. So the treatment plan looks like 6 rounds of chemotherapy, followed by surgery, followed by hormonal therapy. It's a very clear treatment plan, which is very helpful for me. I even got my port placement in my arm yesterday, which is basically like a little nanopet looking device that they embed in the skin under your arm so that when you start chemo, you can just be hooked up to the machine, like a little Roomba and a charging station. So cute, which obviously made this process much more real, which made me much more eager to tell you, because I do feel like I have been existing with a big secret, and I just wanted and felt compelled to let you know. This whole thing has been a lot, to say the least. I have been feeling every feeling all day long, but I am so incredibly thankful to have an amazing husband and an incredible family and friends who have been already so helpful. Elliot and I got married last fall, and I really cashed in on the in sickness and in health part of our vows, I think, way quicker than he expected. I'm not really great at taking care of myself, nor am I good at letting people in to take care of me in any way or to help. And this really, you are confronted with having to put yourself first, and you need to let people help you. So how did this happen? Great question, internet friend and stranger. So a few months ago, I had my annual gynecologist appointment, and before that, I had sort of noticed a weird lump in my left breast, but I really had to talk myself into bringing it up to her in the appointment, because I thought that I was just a stupid little girl that didn't know how girl bodies worked, and it's probably just muscle tissue. And thank God I listened to that little voice inside of me that finally got the courage to bring it up to her, because she also thought it was abnormal and gave me the list of a few surgical doctors to seek out. So get those lumps checked, and do not be afraid to ask a doctor what you might think is a stupid question. So then I went to a surgical doctor. She ordered me a mammogram and an ultrasound, and she ordered it under stat, which is fast. So already had a little So then I went and I got my first ever adult mammogram. Side note, those mammogram machines are very silly. If you thought you had some integrity going into a breast imaging facility, you really leave with a lot less. So I got a mammogram and an ultrasound back to back, and the nurse, after I got my ultrasound, she left the room to go give my results to the in-house doctor there, who I never even saw. She came back with another piece of paper that was ordering me a biopsy. Again, stat. At that point, myself and Elliot were unsettled, to say the least. But the real kicker was when I got the biopsy. The doctor that did it didn't say much to me. She didn't really even introduce herself. But the first thing she did say to me when the procedure started was, 5 years ago when I got diagnosed, it was in this exact spot. And I said, oh, cool. Because I couldn't help but laugh after I got in the car, after I cried about that, because that was so specific. But she was also so nice, and I think in hindsight, she might have been trying to show me, look at where I'm at 5 years later. I'm a doctor doing your biopsy. Not all hope is lost. You're probably also wondering, have I talked to Hank Green? Yes, I have. I have been texting with him, and his videos have been so incredibly helpful, and I am now eagerly awaiting his cancer stand-up to read through, which he has promised to send me, because I'm gonna need comedy through this process. Comedy, jokes, laughing, that all really helps me process very difficult things, and not from a place of denial or deflection about the reality, but rather from a place of aiding me through the hard shit. Laughing feels like it helps me breathe within a situation that I feel like I'm holding my breath. Like, this is a very serious situation, I know that, but there's also some humor to be found here. I mean, the joke's not lost on me that I've spent 15 years not using my boobs to get attention on the internet, and yet here we are. And that I'm announcing this during cancer season. It's all right there. So what's next? Well, this is my job now. I'm going to fight this little bitch of a thing in my left breast as best and as strongly and as gracefully as I can. Pun intended. Interesting to me that I feel so confident in being able to take this on while feeling the full spectrum of every other emotion all the time. Like I've said, I feel like I've been working really hard the last couple of years to try and get my confidence back. A few years ago, I just really felt like I had lost a sense of myself. I was overwhelmed with burnout and I didn't know who I was if I wasn't some silly little persona in a box doing shenanigans. So I took a step back from content creation, and in the meantime I got a graduate degree, I got married, and this year I started to feel really like myself again, but evolved. And I was really excited about the idea of starting to make content again from this healthier, more grounded place. And then I got breast cancer. So I still have this desire to potentially make content, but I also need to listen to myself and play it by ear. The first step, I think, is just doing this, letting you in. I believe they call this vulnerability, something I am not used to doing on the internet. But hey, I said I'm growing up, and maybe this is a sign of it. I'm no science communicator like Hank is, so I won't be able, nor do I have an interest in trying to communicate the science of all of this. I am more what you would consider a silly little bitch communicator. So if I make content around this, it will have the qualities of perhaps a silly little bitch. So I'm still going to be making episodes of This Might Get Weird, the podcast that Mamrie Hart and I do every week, as long as I can. And we're going to work to find ways in which maybe we pre-record some episodes. And I still want to post and contribute to our Patreon that we have as much as I can. The other immediate thing that you kind of learn in this process is that you cannot plan for the future. You have to take it one step at a time. And this was the next step for me. So that's kind of it for now. I have breast cancer. You now know. I'm doing okay. It was a hard few weeks after I found out, but I have the most amazing and supportive husband and family and friends, and I'm doing well, and I'm ready to take this on, and I know I can take this on. I just have to take it one step at a time. So thank you for listening. There's no non-awkward way to end a video like this, so I will see you soon. Awkward goodbye.